Have you ever recorded a YouTube video and then listened back to it and thought, that sounds terrible? Because you filled it up with these words like and all these hesitations that are usually called filler words or injection words. Well, I know I have, because in some of my videos, including even recent ones, like the one where I walked around in Stockholm city centre and said, just hit record. But the problem there was that I was quite distracted. There was a lot going on. And I realised I'd used a lot of these filler words. And I thought, I need to fix this. And then I realised, well, it's not just me, because I watched a video by Rob the Maritimer, and he was using quite a lot of them as well. And I started to notice them, and I started to think, we're supposed to, you know, focus on getting 1% better, aren't we, in our videos? A little bit better each time. So if we can eliminate these words, wouldn't that make us quite a lot better? I think it would. I think it would improve our delivery, our professionalism, our clarity of our message, and just make our videos more pleasant to watch. So I set about creating a system on how I could eliminate these. And in this video, I'm going to teach you that exact system, because I believe I can completely eliminate them from my conversation in this video using my method that I'm going to teach you. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go down to the comments section, and if you see me or hear me do any of these words, say any of these filler words in this video, I want you to note them down there. And even better, if you know how to timestamp them, because I'm going to say that I'm not going to use any of them. And I want to provide you with an example that shows you that I'm not going to use any of them, because I want to practice what I preach. I want to tell you that this system actually works. And if you copy it, you'll be able to do this too. So let's get into it. So I said I've got some notes here. There's not going to be any editing in this video, but I've got a few notes because I don't want to miss out on anything. Because if I just talk now, I will probably just miss something that's key, and then I'll have to go and do the video again. So let's talk about why we use these words then. Well, one key problem for us as small YouTubers, or just people making videos in general, is that when you talk to a camera, it's unnatural. The problem with talking to a camera is you get no feedback. You get nothing coming back to you in the form of what are usually called response tokens or back channeling. And basically what that is when you have a conversation with someone. If we were walking around together now in the forest and I was explaining something to you, you'd be feeding back things to me to show me you understood. You'd be saying things like, okay, oh really? Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. You'd be saying things like that to me, and that would give me not only the feedback that you're understanding what I'm saying and my message is good and clear, but it would also tell me, or give me the opportunity to take a pause and think, what am I going to say next? Where am I going with the rest of the conversation? But when you don't have that, like we don't on YouTube when we're talking to a camera, then you tend to fill the gaps yourself with something, and that usually becomes those dreaded filler words, which we don't want to use. So it's at its worst as well in unscripted videos like this one, where maybe you've got some notes or whatever, but you're just trying to talk continuously to the camera. And maybe you're worrying about overusing those words or wasting people's time or not being quick enough with your video, not delivering exactly what people want in the right amount of time. And maybe you're worried about repeating yourself, and then you start to lose confidence in what you're saying, and it all spirals downhill from then. And when it does, that's when you're going to use these filler words again. So how can we fix this? Well, it's not a simple fix of just speaking more slowly, because if we do that, we're going to sound weird, because we normally speak at about 125 words per minute on average. But a person is able to understand 400 words per minute. So we're already talking much slower than people can comprehend. And some people are bad at listening. So when they hear something they think is too slow, they're immediately going to be trying to think of their own ideas based on yours, or their own responses or whatever. And then they start to get distracted and not really listen to what you say. So going even slower than normal isn't an answer. If you slow down too much, then it's going to sound bad. What if you speed up a bit then? Well, it's going to be equally difficult, because if you try and speak at 400 words per minute, that's going to be 6.67 words per second. It's going to sound awful. Even if you play YouTube back at 2 times speed, which would probably be around 250 words per minute, it's going to sound pretty terrible. So you don't want to be talking at 3 times or something your normal speed, because that's going to be terrible. So we can't really speed up or slow down to fix this. So what do we do then? Well, first thing we can do is acknowledge we have a problem by listening to our videos and seeing if we're using these too much. If we identify that we are, or we just feel that we are, then what we want to do is we want to try and eliminate distractions around us. So if you're in an area where there's a lot going on, like I was in Stockholm the other day, I'm trying not to get run over by trucks and all this other stuff, then it's making it much more difficult for you to focus on what you're supposed to be focusing on. So eliminate all of that by filming in a quiet place, like in your home office or your studio or whatever. Sorry, there's a plane going over now. I hope that doesn't make too much noise. But yeah, film in your home studio or somewhere like that, where it's nice and quiet, you're nice and calm. If you need to do something before to prepare, like have a drink or do some exercise or whatever, do that. Because if you're in a calm place with no distractions, you're much more likely to be able to focus on your message. Now you've got to also realise you don't need to fill the silence. Pauses and commas and full stops, if you like, in a normal conversation are normal and expected. And you are able to pause and take a second to formulate what you're going to say next. It's okay to do that. It's normal. That would be what you do in a normal conversation. If you spoke 100 miles an hour to someone in a normal conversation, they'd think you were weird. It wouldn't be natural or authentic. So you can pause. And if you find yourself coming towards saying one of these phrases that you don't want to say, what you can also do is use what we call discourse markers. And those are words like, anyway, so I did this instead. Those type of words that fill in where you would have normally said a filler word, they sound much more natural, much more flowing in the conversation. And they don't distract from it, because they don't sound like you're a bit simple almost, or a bit stupid, which maybe the filler words can make you feel like you are. You can also think about people's expectations of you, because what you've got to realise is, at the end of the day, you can try and play a character on YouTube if you want to, but I think in the end it's just going to be clear, especially to people who value authenticity and reality, which is what I'm trying to provide on my channel, to show people the real journey. So I can't play a character. I can't start being a news reporter or whatever it is I think I should be. Hello guys, welcome to another video. It doesn't work. It's not me. I've tried it. I think I've fallen into that trap sometimes. So you can't do that. You can't be what you're not. So you can't meet other people's expectations. You've just got to find the people who like what you do instead, and they'll be your people. The rest of them can go and watch somebody else they do like, which is totally fine. So what about then hesitation or nerves? Well, you can fix a lot of that by practice. You can fix a lot of that by planning. So if you plan out your videos, you can either script them or you can write notes for yourself. Then that's going to help you a lot. But you can also practice, and practicing is key. This is one of the most important parts. Pick a subject, walk around your house and just talk about it. Now, if you need somewhere private to do it, obviously do it there. But if you can, just walk around anywhere you can and just talk about a subject. If you can't walk around and talk, whisper. It's fine, as long as you practice your delivery. Because if you practice not saying these words, you're going to realise that you're going to be much more confident in your message, especially if you're practicing the actual script of the video you're going to perform. Because it's going to eliminate so much of the problems you're going to face by just feeling like you know what you're talking about and you're confident. So plan before you start. Have notes or have some kind of script, whatever it is you need, or just an idea in your head, or have just practiced it, because that will make a massive difference. Now, another thing you can do is talk with passion, because this subject bothered me a lot, and you might realise that by this video. So what I realised is that because I'm so passionate about needing to fix it and then trying to find a way to do that, then I realised I've got to send this out to other people. I have to provide other people with this because it might allow them to fix it too. So I realised that it's important, and that allows me to then be confident about what I'm saying. And also, if I test myself like I am on this video and I prove that I can do it, then I'm basically putting a quality seal on the video, at least, of the fact that if I can fix this myself and I can prove it to you, then you can just follow my method and fix it too. Now, this is going to sound really weird, but this is also one of the key parts, and this is going to be close your mouth. What do I mean by that? If you speak a sentence and then you close your mouth at the end, just like that, what you're going to realize is that if you allow your mouth to remain open at the end of the sentence, it almost encourages you to say something else, or to just let that sound out, that filler word that you didn't want to. But if you close your mouth, you physically have to open it again to start talking or to start saying something. And that might just give you that little edge on catching yourself. Now, you're going to be thinking, you're going to be skeptical about that. Try it out. Honestly, just try. Because it won't look unnatural. But I guarantee you, if you do that, it will make a difference. So if you put all those things together, you speak with passion, you eliminate distractions, you don't worry about others' expectations, you practice, you close your mouth, you will probably be able to eliminate everything, like I've done in this video. That's all you need. It really is that simple. Try it out, let me know what you think, and if I've made any of those filler words, because you're often unconscious about the fact you do, let me know in the comments section. But otherwise, try this out and let me know how it improves your videos and your delivery, and I think you'll notice a massive difference. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.